Mice chewed through the bag and ate my mouse poison. This is the hammer-headed bat, Africa's largest bat and one of the most bizarre on Earth. National Guard soldiers on patrol in Washington, D.C. A Volkswagen from dealership Goldstein with license plate AD000LF in Argentina. Two girls at their high school lockers wearing bell-bottoms in the 1970s. Artist rendering of the newly discovered oldest known member of the ankylosaurs found in Morocco. An Indian flying fox and its baby. Hulk Hogan and longtime girlfriend Madonna making a rare public appearance together in 1996. This is what Google Maps looked like on launch day in 2005. A girl rides the subway in New York City in 1986. Bronze sword with gold inscription, China, 5th century BC. A Chimu gold funerary ornament from Peru dating back to around 1100 to 1400 AD. This imperial treasure is preserved today in the Museo Larco. Kahar Dynasty rock carving and inscription on the famous Sassanid dynasty site, the Tak-e-Bostan. Over $1 million worth of singles stapled to the walls and ceilings of this restaurant. Impression made from an Akkadian cylinder seal recovered in Ur in modern-day Iraq, 2300 to 2100 BC. Found a frog sitting on a toadstool of Amanita muscaria, a highly psychoactive mushroom. Starship just before touchdown in the Indian Ocean on Flight 10. This school uses a spiral answer sheet design to prevent cheating. Man with Horse, Oil on Canvas by Edvard Munch, 1918. The way this gecko died in my bathroom, a 2,000-year-old sun hat worn by a Roman soldier in Egypt. The olive oil section in Portugal looks like the wine section in the UK. First selfie in space, Buzz Aldrin, Gemini 12, November 1966. This is an abandoned submarine torpedo boat tunnel in Croatia. This rock in Guadalupe, Colombia, looks like a whale jumping out of the ocean. This one-legged pigeon has been staring at me for the past hour. A grave appeared inside the Mosul Dam in Iraq after the Tigris River's water level dropped. This auto shop is using chandeliers for lighting. West Seattle's fabulous Alki Avenue flower houses, constructed 1916, left in 1914. The seated scribe circa 2600 to 2500 BCE, Saqqara. Small jade skull, Mexico, Aztec civilization, 1200 to 1520 AD. A mysterious complex in the mountains called Putin's Dasha. Kodachrome shot of a little girl in Washington, D.C., 1940s. The grave of Gene Simmers, United States soldier and Vietnam veteran who passed away in 2022. Focal point and reflection made by a photothermal plant in China. Gave $0 tip through the app, and this is how I received my food. The Transamerica Pyramid, one of San Francisco's most iconic landmarks. Found photo of the Melbourne Borscht Belt Hotel in New York, taken in 1968. Bronze horse jingle, China, Western Zhou Dynasty, 1050 to 950 BC. This is the armadillo lizard, a reptile that curls into a spiky ball. The Willis Tower left eerily looking after a major blackout. 100-year-old skull of a man with a rare disease called Proteus syndrome. A history teacher uses a floppy disk for her hall pass. Snow goggles, the first sunglasses, were used 2,000 years ago by Inuit hunters. The Keeper of Time from Tanzania, wooden sculpture from a century-old tree called Maruka. Woman in Jakarta compared to Jon Snow. A dust storm rolling over the city of Phoenix, Arizona. This very large orange looks like a very small pumpkin. This Japanese pond looks like a huge frozen lake, but it's normal water that reflects like ice. Procession in the Fog, Oil on Canvas by Ernst Ferdinand Ullmann, 1828. This coral mushroom looks like lots of tiny little hands reaching for the sky. This goth-looking hummingbird was in my yard. Super rare black leopard found in the Kabini jungles. Half of a tree still lives after a lightning strike. Box made of gold and diamonds. French circa 1860. Abandoned bank vault in a South Dakota ghost town. This man was the most tattooed man in Brazil. This is his transformation back. Pennies soaked in salt and vinegar overnight. One is totally dissolving. Olmec or jaguar mask, Guatemala or Mexico circa 900 to 600 BC. Moche big-eared brown bat vessel, northern Peru circa 200 to 850 AD. The Great Blue Hole of Belize engulfed in Sargassum. Troll guarding an abandoned building in New Jersey. President Donald J. Trump poses with an American farmer. Cell block inside one of the largest abandoned maximum security prisons in the United States. 1997 Pepsi can found embedded in concrete above a ceiling I was working in. A McDonald's breakfast sandwich is now the same size as a ketchup packet. Unknown beautiful lady with a very intense glare. Daguerreotypes of the 1850s to 60s. The earliest passenger planes had wicker seats. Telescope fish found in the deep Southern Ocean. 1934 Ford Coupe built by South City Rod and Custom. This A-10C Thunderbolt II, caught in a snowstorm, looks like a pencil sketch. A waitress carries a tray with a full-course meal for $1.28 in 1948. 1924 photo of a kid stealing air from a car's spare tire to fill his football in Washington. Electroplated nickel nickel silver craftsman-made fruit bowl spoon from Sheffield, 1940s. A doorway with Dwarpalas at Pitacora, Shunga period, 100 BCE. The beauty of our moon during the daytime, captured minutes ago. The size of the giant forest ant, Dinamyrmex gigas, in the jungles of Southeast Asia. This wolf and bear pair were documented traveling, hunting, and sharing food together for 10 days. This is how Dragon Head Mountain looks in South Sinai, Egypt. This girl scratches her back, and it looks like paranormal activity. Construction workers' lunch break, Manhattan, 1932, colorized by Nano Banana. The 1996 Nokia communicator was the first ever smartphone. It cost $800 and even had a fax connection. This enormous metal man in Montreal. This is how people watched as a balloon took off in Paris, France in May 1923. A man captured the sunset from Richmond Beach, Washington, an abandoned indigenous house in Papua New Guinea, the last Victorian Leviathan steamship, a rare bright orange shark with white eyes discovered in the Caribbean. This police station next to a smoke shop. A tree near my work looks like Godzilla. The pineapples in my spa water are shaped like cats. The endangered Mexican alligator lizard. South African museum curator discovered a bizarre fish off the coast of East London. The difference between a male and female mandarin duck. Abandoned zoo at Two Guns, Arizona, USA. Ethel Caterham, the oldest living person, turns 116. She was born on August 21st, 1909. An eagle landed on a random guy in a football stadium. The distribution of red and green apples fallen from adjacent trees. 1956 hospital bill for childbirth, about $100. The Path Through the Irises, Oil on Canvas by Claude Monet, 1917. This Spanish supermarket has a priority checkout for disabled and pregnant people. This slide photo scan was crooked, but it actually looked kind of cool. The spiral staircase of Ducal Castle in Calabria, southern Italy. I found a fake brick in my garage containing a load of coins hidden by the previous owner. In the city of Utrecht, NL, cafes located at the canal are restocked by boat. Maya wood and stone mosaic mask, Mexico, late post-classic period, circa 1200 to 1520 AD. There was an unwrapped starburst in this pouch. The trees of Risituntri National Park, Finland, frozen into otherworldly shapes by extreme cold. Paris Twilight, Oil on Canvas by Childe Hassam, 1887. A man took a picture of a dead tree in a mountain, a picture of a baby bird resting on my cherry tree, looking straight into the camera in 4K. This marshmallow from my cereal is shaped like a tooth. 100-year-old rhododendron and the woman who planted it. A curious wild horse in the Italian Alps. Eminem with his mom and younger brother, 1990s. Mulberry Street, the most dangerous street in New York, 1888. This island in the Philippines is sinking. A Soyuz TMA-13 rocket being erected at the Gagarin Start Launch Pad, 2008. A ladybug matched the color of my Bass Pro Shop shirt. Elon Musk with his brother Kimball and sister Tosca, South Africa, 1989. This photo features two members of the Ainu people, an indigenous group native to Japan. Stairs to nothing in the woods of New Hampshire. This is an abandoned resort in New York. Serbian soldier sleeping next to his father, 1915. This is Lake Maracaibo, where lightning strikes occur up to 200 times per hour. Pilot takes incredible pictures of thunderstorms from 37,000 feet. The Magellanic Clouds under the dark skies of the Atacama Desert. There are 3 peacocks living in the park near the UN office in Geneva, Switzerland. A Native American man watching the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad, Nevada, 1867. All the different kinds of keys this locksmith has collected. The Pantheon had bell towers before they were removed by Pope Pius IX in 1883. A photo of the only known albino gorilla when he was younger. Steve Jobs introduces the first iPhone on January 9, 2007 at the Macworld Expo in San Francisco. This train station is entirely green for some reason. A woman paying for her groceries with a check, 1970s. Pura Vida, a 32-foot C&C that washed ashore on Hatteras Island. Building around a 330-year-old tree, Manisa, Turkey. Brazil's tallest teenager with her boyfriend. A footpath between Sneem and Kenmare in Ireland. This sign is a cute way to ask for tips. This grocery store sells fresh pistachios. A woman sits in a carriage reserved for white people to protest against apartheid, 1952. OC, 2 National Guardsmen at Union Station, DC. The Drip, Indian full-body armor in Russia, coat of 1,000 nails. Elbląg Canal, Poland, oldest inclined plane boat lift system in Europe. Old model of a multi-shot handgun from Asia. 3 barrels made of iron, circa 1600. Mike Tyson, only 23, loses to the nearly 30-year-old Buster Douglas. World's luckiest man walks away with only minor cuts after 2 trucks sandwich his pickup. Kim Jong-il with his family, Pyongyang, North Korea, 1981. Steve Jobs testing the photo booth filter in 2005. Toshiro Mifune with his mistress and daughter, Venice, 1988. Proto-Elamite vase, 2600 to 2300 BC, found in Ur. Young geisha posing on her kimono. Autochrome shot shot, 1927, Tokyo, Japan. Weird rock that I found under a stone in a creek. A lone Native American sends smoke signals in Montana, 1909. This shrapnel from a shot-down Iranian missile. Two boys playing a makeshift game of golf in an empty lot, 1930. Mars made its closest approach to Earth in nearly 60,000 years, 22 years ago. The inside of a Coke Freestyle soda pop machine. Abandoned 1970s backsplit in rural Ontario. The size of a hummingbird nest. A beautiful composite image of rocket launches by Andrew McCarthy. People waiting to buy the iPhone upon release in New York City, 2007. Godzilla movies, the longest-running movie franchise, 1954. There's a frog living inside a frog. A salted paper print taken by Roger Fenton of his assistant and his photo wagon, 1855. Pair of Tlaloc eyepieces. Maya, circa 900 to 1200 AD, mother of pearl. Abandoned inn with windmills in Kossuth, Poland. The meteor in the star cluster. Max von Pettenkofer, the man who cleaned a city and drank cholera. Years ago, I cut through my fingerprint and it can't heal properly. The atomic bomb Fat Man being prepared for use during World War II. A leopard and a panther living together. A dime imprinted into a nickel by a train wheel. The Aldi version of Punk IPA is called Anti-Establishment IPA. This chunk of Honey Nut Cheerio dust we found in our box. Brickwork on the sidewalk that turns into a bench. Shiraz, Iran. There was a live wasp in this sealed pack of rucola. Barack Obama during his time as a law professor at the University of Chicago, 1995. A collection of vintage cars forgotten inside a collapsing warehouse. A Tusker elephant with Mount Kilimanjaro behind, Amboseli, Kenya. Colombia, 6,000-year-old prehistoric community discovered. A child reads a newspaper beside a police officer in Paris, France, 1912. A night out in Manchester turns into a modern masterpiece. This cat with a perfectly split face at a pet shop. A rural American family waiting for RFK's funeral train, circa 1968. Natural selection versus artificial selection. Wolf versus pug skulls. The world's most toxic nettlebush, locked behind glass. A new type of plasma wave was discovered on Jupiter. This candy wrapper indicates that the color orange is a registered trademark. A land party kit straight from the early 2000s. The look from below a starship. MASH shirt that has been vacuum sealed for almost 20 years. Russian Soviet Arctic explorer Nikolai Mishulyak feeding a wild polar bear. This screwdriver is so old the advertised phone number only has 5 digits. A giraffe gently greets a terminally ill patient at a Dutch zoo thanks to Make-A-Wish. Clinton, Epstein, Maxwell inside the White House, 1993. Egyptian mummies discovered after being buried for more than 2,600 years. Found my 16-year-old iPhone with an attempt to send a message in 1970. An astronaut on a spacewalk outside the ISS during the 117th flight of the space shuttle. The Norwegian Star, Akureyri, Iceland. Sleeping Bear, Dunes National Lakeshore in Michigan. The last Chrysler Victory air raid siren in Kansas. Sea creatures have very interesting skeletons. A wolf spider carrying dozens of babies on her back. The seeds in this jalapeno are all dark brown. Weapon engineers Stoner and Kalashnikov pose with each other's rifles. USA, 1990. Rare photo of Michael Jackson without makeup, 1988. 1939. Pontiac Plexiglass Deluxe 6 Ghost Car. First human to travel into space. Yuri Gagarin in Calcutta, 1961. Colima Seated Dog, West Mexico. Proto-classic circa 100 BC to 250 AD.